Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, depending on where you are. Happy Sunday. We'll just pause for a moment here while we wait for everybody to join us. It's been so nice to see so many familiar faces and so many new faces these last 6 weeks or so of the beginning of the year. Had such a great group. So thank you for showing up for yourself and for all of us again and again. I'm Kelley Amadei, and this is Meditation Town Hall, if you're wondering what Zoom you jumped on. So we're going to start with the singing bowl as a ritual to remind us of and remind our nervous system what we're doing. It's a signal to the body, to the mind. You can let go and just be for a moment. Excuse me. We're going to start today a little differently than we normally do Zoom. And we're just going to start with a little bit of breathing. And for those of you who have been on retreat with us, have had the luck of being able to be in person and have come to Tibetan Energy Yoga, this first, we're just going to do one little breathing exercise, but it'll be familiar to you. And there's all different ways we can start our day with intention. Simple ways. And there are some days where I start my day and perhaps I've intended to sit for 30 minutes or an hour or 15 minutes, but all I can find is the 3 minutes to do some breathing. And so I give myself these menu of options in the morning with an intention of practice, but sometimes it's just not available. And so when I give myself these menu of options, I know no matter which one I have the time and the space for, I'm starting with intention. So I'm going to start with the refuge prayer, and then we'll just do a little bit of breathing here. I'm going to do the bodhicitta from the Mahayana tradition in English. From now until reaching perfect Buddhahood, for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception, I shall practice the 6 perfections wholeheartedly day and night. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. We vow to transcend them. Dharma teachings are boundless. We vow to realize them. And the Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. We vow to embody it. And then we'll just do the inner refuge and bodhicitta here. If you were here last week, you heard me quoting Min Rolling Kondro. So this is a translation adapted by Lama Surya Das. In the empty and open essence, the radiantly lucid nature, and the manifesting compassionate responsiveness, I take refuge by recognizing and resting in this threefold innate Buddha-ness that is the true nature of mind. And finally, pure perception and bodhicitta. I and all beings are primordially Buddha. Knowing this to be essentially true, I give rise to the awakened mind of supreme enlightenment. So we begin with these prayers to set our intention for ourselves and for the merit of our practice to be for all beings. I invite you to arrive on your seat again and again and again. Find a comfortable spot. And if you're physically able, sit upright so that your spine is straight. Your feet are on the ground if you're not sitting cross-legged. Just get in touch for a moment with your natural breath, natural energy. You can close your eyes if it's helpful. Starting to build our awareness of where are we right now? Where is our breath? What's the quality of it? And on your next in-breath, you're going to breathe in deeply through your nose, filling your lungs, and hold briefly, and then releasing all at once. Releasing all that stale air, stale prana, clearing out the lungs. We're going to do that again. We're going to take a deep, deep breath in, this time filling completely in through your nose. Filling, opening, expanding, and holding briefly. And releasing. And on your next breath in, you're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to plug your left nostril after you've taken the breath in. So breathing in slowly and deeply in through both nostrils, holding, holding, and now releasing out completely through your right nostril. And releasing all that stale energy and prana. You'll notice we're not doing this the total traditional way. We're just getting warmed up here. So if if you're familiar with Tibetan energy yoga, feel free to do the Vajra fist and all the accoutrement. Otherwise, just do it simply. Sometimes we just need to let the ritual loosen a little. Okay, so taking another deep breath in through your nose, holding this time, plugging your right nostril, holding, and then releasing all at once through your left nostril, holding. And another natural breath. And one more time, breathing in through your nose, deeply filling your lungs. This time, really do it, as Lama would say, fully fill and expand, holding, and then exhaling through both nostrils. Settling back into your seat, being with any subtle changes in energy, subtle changes in your physical body. Arriving again to this moment. Allowing this next hour to be, or however long you're able to stay with us, to be a moment of refuge, to be a protected container where you're not alone. You're not alone in your practice. You're not alone in your intentions. We're here doing this together. And what is the this that we're doing? What is the this that we're showing up on a Sunday and getting on Zoom? You know, what I'm here to do, what I believe we're all here with the intention of doing, is awakening. Is presencing, cultivating presence and awakening. In order to be in the world in a way that's a little freer and a little easier. In order to be in the world that is freer and easier, where we can be just in our presence, a warm beacon for those around us. And I remember, I first started practicing when I was about 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. And I got really, really excited about everything. I'd been a seeker my whole life. And when I found Lama Surya's book, Awakening the Buddha Within, I felt a deep sense of coming home, which I imagine a lot of you can relate to. And I would say, and I think Lama at the time would say, I got a little overeager. I have a habit of being all or nothing, and so I'm all the way in something, or I'm not doing it at all. And in this moment, I wanted to be all the way in. I wanted to move to Nepal, I wanted to move to India, I wanted to move to Bhutan, I wanted to move to the East, and I wanted to join a monastery, and I wanted to go into 3-year retreat and immerse myself in the practice. And then when that seemed a little too far away, there was a Korean Zen temple that I was attending in Chicago, and I thought, I'll go into their monastic program. It's a 3-year program, and I'll become a nun. I had the privilege of going on a day-long retreat. Lama used to do these day-long retreats sort of all around the country, and had a chance to talk to him one-on-one and asked him what he thought. He didn't know me from anybody. I was just somebody who was a fan at the time and a practitioner. And I expressed my intentions to him. I wanted to go deep into the practice. I was so eager. I wanted to really go into a long retreat, to remove myself from the world, to be more of what I thought I was meant to be. And he paused for a moment and thought very carefully. And then what he said to me was, and this is paraphrasing, this was 25 years ago now, but he said, I encourage you to be very careful in thinking about what you're hoping for. And I encourage you to enter this practice with the middle way in mind. And yes, you could move to the East, and yes, you can join a monastery, and that may end up being the right thing for you. But will it really bring you what you truly want and need? Will removing yourself from this life, this Western life, for a long stretch of time align you with your goal of alleviating suffering in the world? What if you were to stay in the West, stay in Chicago, live life, work in the world, have a family if that's what you want to do, and do it while being here right now? And I really, in that moment, was discouraged and disappointed because I think actually what I was looking for was an escape. Um, when you think about going into 3-year retreat and what the refuge that brings you is, it eliminates all distractions, right? It eliminates the outside world. It eliminates all the things we think are bringing us pain and suffering right now. So obviously, you know the answer to what I chose, which is I chose to stay after sitting with his advice and guidance. And I chose to try to be in the world, practice, study, and be in the world in a way that I wasn't removing myself from the world. And so, I got married, I had children, I lived my life, but I stayed true with my intention to awaken, with the intention to become clearer about who and what I really was, and to investigate suffering and work with it, not work with it and attempt to not get carried away by it, and to investigate joy and love and to work with it, to not cling too hard to it, although my conditioning really didn't lead me to clinging to joy. It actually, the work I had to do was to receive it, to allow it. And so through practice, through study, through Lama's teachings, here I am still here 25 years later and still practicing, right? Still here with the intention to awaken, still here with the intention to stabilize my way of being so that I can open my heart and be in the world and be of service to those who are suffering and to help alleviate it. Because what did the Buddha teach? The Buddha taught two things, if we're really reducing it simply. The Buddha taught that to exist in this world as a sentient being means you will experience suffering. And the second thing he taught was the promise of the cessation of suffering, of the ending of suffering. Now, some people get confused about that, and they think he meant that you will no longer experience any hard things. You'll no longer experience physical pain. You'll no longer experience outer difficult circumstances. And that is not, from what I've been taught in my interpretation, that is not what he taught. What he taught was what you can do with this practice, what this practice promises you, is that we can learn how to relate to it in a very different way. And so, yes, we will experience physical pain. We will experience outer circumstances, but we won't get hooked into them. We won't judge them. We won't criticize them, and we won't suffer that we're suffering. Right? There's a path here to allow us more ease and more space around the circumstances of being a human being. So there's a few things I want to talk about today around this, and we'll do some practice, but part of what we're trying to do here is first establish a practice. And many of you have been practicing for many more years than I have. So there's people here who are just starting a practice, and there's people here who've been practicing for 20, 30, 40, 50 years even. But what does it mean to establish a practice and establish it and work with it day after day? Well, first of all, we have to know that the practice exists. So here you are, you know a practice exists, or you wouldn't be on this Zoom. Second of all, like a baby bird learning to fly, we have to be given the tools. We have to be shown how to do it. Can't fly until we're taught. And just like a baby bird who has always been and always will be fated to flying, we're also fated to becoming free. But we have to work it. We have to do the work. We have to work with the practice. And so first it's setting the intention, then it's looking out into the world and say, how do I want to be with this practice? So no, I'm not going to go into 3-year retreat, but I do need to train. I need to train in this practice of meditation and this practice of being. And in order to train, we try to create a container where we remove some distractions to make the training a little easier. You know, if you're an athlete and you're used to training, you don't train for the marathon by running the marathon. You train for the marathon by warming up. You train for the marathon by running a mile at a time. You train for the marathon by doing strength training, right? You train outside of the context of the race. And so I like to think of my meditation practice as a protected time where I'm training outside of the context of the race so that when I step into the world, when I step into the race, I have some more space around me and more tools to work with what's happening. So today we're going to work with just being still. You know, there's a metaphor in Buddhist teachings that's still, resolve your view, be immense like a mountain, unmoving. When you imagine a mountain, its enormity, its presence, it's unwavering. And while the mountain didn't have to practice to be that way, we do. We have to practice to be with what's happening. So whether it's storms or clouds or rain or a beautiful bright sunny day, the mountain is just with what's happening. And in our Dzogchen practice, just slightly different, but you know, it doesn't matter in this moment, right? We're working with what is true for you. But if in the Dzogchen practice, what we're attempting to do is to rest in awareness, to train with awareness. And I don't know about you, but when I think about the idea of resting, first of all, so anything that starts with rest, I'm like, yes, let's start with rest. Resting in awareness. So you're going to sit strong like a mountain, but with some ease, with some restfulness, with the presence. That's the just being part of this. Now, if you're newer to this and just resting in awareness might feel, one, confusing or too overwhelming, we can also focus on mindfulness. Right? So in Mahamudra, the focus is mindfulness. It's a presence of mind. It's an application of watchfulness. It's a noticing. So depending on where you are in your day or where you are on your path, it may feel more accessible to work with mindfulness. And it's a kind of training. All of this is training, but this is a training in working with appearances. So if I'm the mountain and I'm sitting strong, we're human beings, all kinds of appearances will arise. Appearances to our eyes, appearances to our ears, thoughts will arise, sensations will arise, taste, touch, all of our 6 sense perceptions. Something will arise within that awareness. And this practice allows us to recognize what we're watching. Oh, my toes are cold right now. Oh, Kelley's talking too much. I just want to meditate. Oh, my right hip hurts. Right? It's just a noticing. And what normally happens is when an appearance arises, that's all that's happening, an appearance is arising, our brain says, oh, something's happening. So cognition occurs. Something is there, something is happening. If you're like me and I'm not in practice, I can tend to fixate on it. Oh, why is that happening? What's happening? Who else is that happening to? Why, what can I do about what's happening? And I start to fixate on it and analyze it and attach to it. Because once we go from noticing it and fixating on it, again, if you're like me, the next thing you do is that good or is that bad? Right? Then we move to it, judging it as good or bad. And we're pretty binary in that way. All right, it's good, it's bad. And then we start to attach to it. Oh, it's bad. And now it's bad and it takes me down this rabbit hole. Oh, it's good. I don't want it to change. I want to keep it. I'm warm, I'm cozy, I'm floating, in a warm bath, and I'd like to stay here forever. We attach to it. But just like a warm bath that eventually becomes cold, right? That moment eventually shifts and changes. And so, all these words really to say, like, what we're practicing in here is just noticing the experience over and over, and noticing where we get hooked, and noticing where we judge, and noticing where we attach. And once we've settled, we've slowed down, we've created some stillness, the noticing slows down. As you practice and practice, the noticing, the watching slows down. And we can cultivate the ability just to be with, to just rest in. I even want to say rest in awareness, just rest in. Because in Dzogchen, all appearances, all sounds, all awareness, all forms have a unity. It's happening, but it's also empty. And empty like a sunlit room, like it's happening, but there's nothing to do with it. It has no intrinsic meaning as it just arises and goes away. The clouds have no intrinsic meaning, they just are. Right? So it appears in this expanse of space. We don't assign meaning to it. Just let it be. And I don't know about you, but it is such a relief to me to not have to understand everything and assign meaning to everything that's happening. Just let it be. Allowing appearance and awareness to be indivisible. So, let's do a little practice. Set your intention. Get comfortable. And don't even attach to, am I working with mindfulness here today? Or am I working with resting in awareness? Just let it be. Whatever it is, it is. Whatever it is, you're here. This path of awakening, gentle, open self-inquiry. So awake and aware. If you're comfortable with your eyes open, I highly encourage eyes open. Just settle into your seat. This openness is always available to us. It's right here. All we have to do is be right here, right now. Assume your Buddha seat. Not trying to block anything out. Open, aware. Just this. Rest your weary heart and mind. Hand it over. Set it down. You need something to focus on. Put your attention on your out breath, on the exhale, on the letting go. Just sitting, just breathing. Resting and aware, relaxing into what is. Not pushing anything away, not inviting anything in, just being. Spacious, view immense like the sky. Free of clinging. And in this moment, no obstacles, no problem. A limitless expanse. Just a gentle allowing all sensations, all feelings, all appearances. Allow them to arise. It's by itself arising. Allow them to dissolve on their own, by itself dissolving, by itself releasing, nothing to do. Like the mountain, not trying to affect the weather, just being. Resting in the ease of that, nothing to do. See how far you can allow your awareness to expand. How much space is available to you? Allowing all feelings and sensations, thoughts, words, even mine, to be like a sky writer, those planes that write in the sky. The font only a reflection and a projection, and temporary, fleeting, dissolving by itself. Your mind free and clear. All right, stretch for a moment. On your next in-breath, I invite you to either listen or join in with a few simple ahs. Breathing in through your nose. Emptying out completely. And again, breathing in. And one more time, taking a deep breath in, filling your lungs completely and releasing all at once. Okay. All right, and now let's really meditate. Just sit. Just be. Rest. Feeling the loving support of everyone here, support of your practice and support of your intentions. The spontaneous love and compassion that arises on its own. It's right there. Allow it in. I'm going to read you this short little passage from the third Zen patriarch. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Let go of longing and aversion, and it reveals itself. Make the smallest distinction, however, and you are as far from it as heaven is from earth. If you want to realize the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. Like and dislike is the disease of the mind. When the deep meaning of the way is not understood, The intrinsic peace of mind is disturbed. As vast as infinite space, it is perfect and lacks nothing. Indeed, it is due to your grasping and repelling that you do not see things as they are. Do not get entangled in things. Do not get lost in emptiness. Be still in the oneness of things, and dualism vanishes by itself. So we'll finish with a few prayers, chants. As always, feel free to chant along. You're also welcome just to allow the words to wash over you. We will do the path clearing and wish fulfilling prayer of Padmasambhava once in Tibetan and once in English. Dusum Sanjay Guru Rinpoche Nudru Kundak Dewa Chen Poja Barche Kunsel Dudu Drak Posel Sowadep Sojin Gilap Tu So Chinang Sangwei Barche Jiwadahang Sampalu Jidru Bajin Gilo. Precious Guide, one with all the Buddhas of the three times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. And we'll do the Bodhicitta dedication in English. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. I wish you a week of love and presence, loving awareness, kindness and gentleness with yourself. I've been starting my days lately with, may I be gentle with myself. And it turns out when I do that, I'm a little more gentle with everyone else around me. Always such a gift to be here with you. Thank you for your good hearts and your beautiful practice. And please join us next week. Suzanne leads us in meditation, which is always lovely. So, love to you all. Be safe, be well.